Hello friends, Shannon here. Welcome back to Root and Quill. Welcome back to my creative table. Okay, so I have an enormous project here. And it will not, no matter what I do, show up the entire thing on camera. So I've kind of got an edge over here, an edge up here. But what I have is this enormous Lazy Susan. It's big, it's chunky, it's heavy, and it was in this house when we moved in. There's another one. And they never fit in our cupboards. We did have one of them on a shelf out in the mudroom, but we didn't use it. And when we were cleaning everything out a couple months ago, Joe's like, should we just throw these away? And all of a sudden it dawned on me, no sir, we can't. I want them because I'm going to do something fun for my greenhouse. So it's cold. It's not outdoor type of weather for me. I'm a bit of a wimp. But it's great for working on something indoors. Let me see if I can get it. I don't know. My lighting in here is just so bad. I've got to figure it out. I don't think that helped. The sun is kind of coming through the curtains. Well, we're just going to go with it. It is what it is. You can see. So we're going to get super funkalicious with this. I don't know what else you would call it. I have a bunch of stuff. Book pages, primarily. Book pages. I've got some other papers. Just a bunch of stuff in this pouch. Scraps. Oh my gosh. Things like that. Tons of stuff in this pouch. I have some just brown packaging paper. I have scraps of deli paper that I didn't run it over. I put it on the jelly plate. I have music paper. And we're going to layer this up with all of these pieces of everything. We're going to add some paint. We're going to add some marks. And then we're going to top it all with some of these beautiful sunflower napkins. We're going to Mod Podge them on and then put a finishing coat to protect everything. And it's going to go out and live in my greenhouse where I can use it for potting plants or whatever. So I have all these beautiful sunflower napkins that we're going to cover it. That'll be like the final step. But there's multiple steps before we get to that part. And it starts with book pages. So if you want to do something like this, I absolutely highly encourage you to give it a try because it is so relaxing and just kind of, I don't want to say mindless, but it's kind of mindless. And you can't screw it up. It's just one of those things that if you don't like something you stuck down, then cover it up. That's how easy this goes. So I'm going to use a sponge brush, and I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use for this bottom, I'm just going to use some good old-fashioned Mod Podge. If I can get it open. It may be glued shut. What do we do then? I don't know. What happens if you can't get your jar open? You get scissors out. You move back so oh. Well, I guess you break the lid and then maybe you can get it off. Well, this is dumb. I guess I should have prepared better before turning the camera on. But, you know, that's the way these things go. Oh, there, I got it. Okay, woohoo! So, the one thing I don't want is I don't want this edge. So I'm just going to rip that off. I'm going to take some of the bottom off. Set those aside. Because I want mostly just the text. I probably have enough here. That looks like work. Work. Okay, interesting. And the first thing we're going to do is, ooh, this is gloppy. And of course, this will be done over several days because there's several steps and it needs to dry in between each step. So, just like that, put your Mod Podge down, cover that over, excuse me, goodness. There's no right or wrong way. If there is, well, then I can guarantee I'm showing you the wrong way, because that's usually how I do things. But no, seriously, there's no right or wrong way. You really, the idea is to start building the layers for just some visual texture. You won't really ever see these words through. You would probably never even know that these book pages were down here. However, they do give some texture. So like I said, this thing is huge. I was going to measure it. So I'm working all the way over to this edge, which I could probably, I mean, it does turn. I'm just working all the way over to the very edge. I'm not going to go over the edge, like cover the sides. I will put my paper right up to the edge, but I will come back along and trim that off and do probably just some paint around that outer edge. Put your pages any way you want them. Upside down, sideways. Layer them over each other. Fill in any gaps. And of course, when I do get everything done, I will put on a couple of very thick coats of sealant, because I do anticipate using this under pots in the greenhouse, so it will get watered. It will get sun and heat. And even though it's not a precious project, if we're going to put the time and effort into it, we might as well protect it. Trying to keep this where you can see it. So if you want to do a Lazy Susan, a lot of times you can find them at the thrift stores. Look down low on the bottom shelves. I don't know where you would buy one like this. I'm not really sure. Like I said, this thing is heavy. I don't know if this was like handmade, but it's a solid 1-inch chunk of wood. And it is at least, let's see, 12, probably 20 inches across. Yeah, it's a big one. But I think it's going to fit perfect on my shelf in there where I do or will do potting. So that I can sit and relax and turn it as I need to. It's we have a couple shelves to finish building in the greenhouse, and then I will take you on a tour. And talk about how I'm going to use it. I notice a lot of people use their greenhouses for like their tropical plants that they have out in their garden during spring and summer, and then they put them in their greenhouse for winter, and they try to keep it warm, or they heat it. There are options. It's not a huge space. I don't really plan to do that. I really will use it for growing up my seedlings, starting seedlings that need some cold stratification time. But primarily growing up the seedlings that I've started in the house, and then once the temperature is warm enough, move them out there and let them finish growing until the time that they can go out into the garden. If I were going to build a house, that's kind of neat. I'm going to save that and put it as like a top layer, I think, in the center maybe. So you can make Mod Podge. You just water down some good old-fashioned white glue. You don't have to buy actual Mod Podge. You will want to make sure, though, if you are buying Mod Podge, to get the finish that you want. I like matte. I'm not much into a glossy finish. And I do believe there is a Mod Podge for a top layer that is waterproof. I'm not sure because I only ever buy this in the yellow bottle, because I know exactly what I'm gonna get. So we're just about done here with this layer, folks. And then it's got to dry. It is sopping wet. There is nothing else we can do with this until it has dried completely, which will be at least a few hours, if not overnight. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some stamping on it. And my stamping will be with mostly like objects, not like rubber stamps. Rubber stamps at this stage aren't really gonna show up, but some lids, or like the side of a ruler, the side of a credit card, or a cup, toilet paper roll, anything like that, you can dip in some paint and come back and make those marks. I think while I've got this Mod Podge out and this brush, I am going to, I've got the top covered. Except this one little section yet. That does not want to lay down. Oh, because I had the paper doubled. I didn't realize that. Okay. So you can see that took us, what, maybe 10 minutes or so? 12? To cover that whole thing, because we're not precious about it. We're just sticking that layer down. But while it's wet, and I have the Mod Podge out, I'm going to go ahead and put some random pieces of music paper down. Just randomly. I don't want these everywhere like I do the book pages. Now, if you were ever a follower of Lori Marie Jenkins, she would call them underpants. You always put your underpants on first before you start putting on your clothes. I've got a sticky mess going here. It's been ages since I've done anything like this. For one, because I wasn't making the time to do it. For another, I couldn't find a space to do it because I had let everything just pile up in here. So as you can see, I just stuck down the music paper in some random spots right over the top of the book pages. And I'm just going to do that in a few more places. I don't want a ton, but it does add another layer of texture or depth. I mean, I guess I'm putting the Mod Podge on super, super thick. So it's going to take quite a while to dry. So I might as well add these other layers since I'm not going to be able to get back in here today and do any more on this. So since it will sit for a solid 24 hours until I can get back to it, I might as well put on all the layers. Not all the layers, no, we're not doing all the layers. We're just doing these base layers. So there I have kind of, I guess we could call it the second layer. Well, duh, it really is, of music sheet. And then while I'm here, I can go ahead and maybe put down some of this script paper. Just keep adding. I don't have much of this, so I'm just going to put it in a few spots. That looks good. What else do I have? Do I have anything else over here that's different? I have I'm trying to keep my colors all relatively neutral, and I will even when I go to add some paint and marks and stuff, because I really want those sunflowers to shine through. I really want them to show. I want them to be the star. I have other old, like really old pieces of book paper that I could put down for just a little bit more contrast. I guess that won't be bad. Might as well use some of those up. I've got a slew of them over here. You could even in this layer or at this stage add bits of fabric. If you wanted. Okay, a couple more pieces of this really old stuff. And then I think we're going to call it good until it's dry and ready for the next layer. Oh, I like it. I like it. Oh, I know what we could put down. Nope, I'm going to save that, I think, until Okay, friends, I think I'm going to call it right here, and I'm going to let this dry, and I'll be back with the next step. I mean, yeah, look at me. I'm going to leave it, but I keep adding more. I think that's kind of the fun part of this, because it is not precious. Like, that was kind of a blank spot up there. And now I want to even it out a little bit. So I need another dark piece for over here. You could just keep going and going and going. Okay, I am going to leave it there. I need to move on with my day. So I will come back and do the next step with you. Okay, it's looking kind of funky right now, but that's okay. You'll see. It's going to be beautiful when we're done. Okay, friends, thanks for hanging out with me. Until next time, take care.